Now, talk about what are the best CS2 investments you could be making right now. Well, the first one everyone's going to be looking at is definitely the Austin Major, being it is the big event going on right now inside of the Counter-Strike 2 game. People are really leaning towards it. We've got a lot of different options here. First up, you got your capsules. Now, obviously, we got a 75% off sale that would need to happen before we make any potential investment, but it's really going to be coming down to looking at the previous major capsules. We can see a lot of them have really struggled long-term with a lot of oversupply and underconsumption once a major ends. In my honest opinion, I think there is a possibility for profit here, but I don't think it's as large as many people really think it is. Therefore, I would highly suggest maybe looking at some other options for the Austin Major. Right now, we've got the first edition of these brand new souvenir charms. This is a very interesting area. We don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but this is a unique aspect, and that's exactly what we want to look for here. Be very careful, though, with souvenir packages. Souvenir packages are one of the worst traditional investments, even though right now they are up significantly in price. Usually, they lose a lot of demand immediately after a major ends, and so there's a lot to balance if you're trying to make an Austin Major investment. Personally, not exactly where I'd be putting my money right now, but there is the possibility for these items to obviously go up in the future. Skinland is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free $10 on your first trade. It's where I personally sell my skins because you're going to be getting the highest rate out there. They're offering a maximum amount of money in a minimum amount of time, and it's going to be nearly instant with tons of different payout options. Combine that with their massive marketplace where you're going to be able to buy anything in the entire game you're looking for with a ton of different deposit options here as well. Right now, this is the #1 place to go ahead and sell or buy skins in my personal opinion, so go ahead, use code MasterShiny and check them out today. Now, one area I would highly suggest is going to be the filler skins market. Now, the filler skins market has a lot of different aspects, but the biggest ones we're going to be focusing in on is the light blue and the blue skins. Both of these have really great opportunities inside of them because the consumption of these items is significantly more than the supply that's coming in. For the light blue skins, no more of these are coming in. They can only be created with a trade up of 10 of these gray skins, which is a very minute amount. There's a lot of profit to be made here with these skins specifically because people are very in demand for these said filler skins. They're the only ones of their kind, and the train collection is really good because of that. Otherwise, we've got the traditional blue skins. Now, at this point, this is probably what a lot of investments going to be leaning towards because they have not shot up in price as significantly. Now, with these ones, there is 6 total collections, 2 of which are still actively dropping. That's because the other 4 got kicked out when we saw that rebrand of the CS2 collection drops in your weekly care package. Now, we're sitting in a position where there's still a lot more consumed than there is supply coming in, but this one's a little bit more volatile. I will definitely say these prices can fluctuate a little bit more because we do have an active supply coming in, although it's definitely not enough to keep up at the consistent levels that we're going through these skins. It's a very good opportunity if you're willing to wait a little bit, and honestly, you're not going to be seeing overnight profit here. However, if we want to look at the past 6 months, all of these filler skins have done phenomenally well, and it's not going to be continuing on that exact trajectory, but I think there's a lot of profit to be made for these ones as well. Now, one area I would highly suggest you check out for the majority of people is going to be rare cases. That's because rare cases are one of the best investments that nearly everyone has and can get into. That's because the position that we're in right now is very interesting. So many people are unboxing rare cases that if we want to look at a graph like this, where the top line, the red line, is how many are being unboxed, the blue line is the amount of cases that are new coming in, the supply, we can see obviously we are going to run out eventually, or something is going to change, and that change is going to be in the price point. We can see these prices consistently creeping up over time. We want to look at the past 6 months, and especially if we want to zoom out a little bit more and talk about the past 2 years, we can see so much growth has happened for all of these rare cases all across the board, especially the cheaper ones, which we would probably make an investment into in my personal opinion. These ones have a huge opportunity moving forward because this trajectory is not going to be continuing at this exact rate, but if you want to look at the numbers, we can see that it's going to continue at some rate. Nothing is changing inside this area. We're not getting a massive supply coming in for these specific cases. Therefore, the prices are going to keep on going up, and we can make a huge opportunity out of this situation because honestly, these are prices that are probably only ever going to be increasing moving forward. There's no guarantee, obviously, but if we want to look at the fundamentals, we can see exactly that. People are still in demand for these cases. People are throwing away tons and tons of money unboxing them, and we can make a huge opportunity of profit right here because nothing is really going to be fundamentally changing. Now, talking about Armory items, it's a little bit interesting. That's because obviously all of these items inside the game right now are renewable. You can get as many of them as you want, and therefore an investment in this area is a little bit risky. You're really banking on the fact that they're going to get removed. Now, putting that aside, if we want to look at the items specifically, there is a lot of opportunity if they do get removed. The stickers are absolutely off the charts when it comes to unboxing numbers, and especially the application numbers. These things are extremely desirable, and people have obviously shown that. Now, the price points aren't absolutely crazy, but they do possess over 100% ROI, so people are probably still redeeming these at pretty high rates. The application numbers show people are really in demand for them. Then you got your charms, which are very interesting, but charms are never destroyed unless they're removed from someone just not playing the game anymore. So it's a little bit of an interesting predicament. If they get discontinued along with any of these items, there is a huge opportunity for profit, but as more and more are just coming into the game and they're never going to be fully removed, it's a little bit of a questionable investment in my personal opinion. Now, talking about your skin collections here, there's a lot of opportunity if they get removed. If we want to look previously, some of the most valuable investments you could have made in the history of this game come from collection items. Specifically, your Shattered Web, your Broken Fang, and your Riptide are recent examples of major profit that could be made from discontinued or stopped collections. Now, this is a very interesting predicament because obviously we don't know if they're going to get discontinued, and if they do, that price is going to shoot up immediately because people know there's a lot of profit to be had here. With that being said, there is a huge opportunity if they get removed, but the odds of them getting removed right now, in my personal opinion, not very high. So you do have to keep that in balance. There's a lot of opportunity for the Armory. It really comes down to what's going to get removed, if anything, moving forward. Now, talking about your active duty, your active collections, and your purchasable items. Now, these ones are very interesting for a couple different reasons. Talking about your active collections, these are the 7 that you're getting dropped every single week by Valve. In my personal opinion, none of these really make a strong investment opportunity unless we're talking about those filler skins, which we mentioned earlier. Talking about your active duty cases, very similar situation for the majority of cases. Why would I buy a active duty case that makes up 99% of the drop pool at $2.50 when I could get a lot better investments that are rare cases at a cheaper price point? My personal opinion, the only active duty cases that are viable for investment are when they're at a super low price point, none of which really sit the priorities right now. A lot of them have shot up in price. I don't really think it's a great opportunity. Then you get your purchasable cases. These ones from the Armory right now are a little bit of an interesting predicament. Once again, really comes down to them getting removed for them to be a huge opportunity. If they do, look at the Riptide, look at the Broken Fang, look at the Shattered Web case. These things are going to explode in price if they do get removed. Look at the amount of money that Valve has made off them. Why would they go ahead and remove them now? In my personal opinion, it doesn't make a ton of sense, but if it happens, obviously that is a massive amount of money and I will definitely be investing into them. Now, in my opinion, one of the best CS2 investments you can make is what I call a hidden gem opportunity. These are a little bit more unique items that you find the fundamentals on, and they look absolutely insane. Usually they've got a high amount of demand and the supply on them is not very strong. These could be past major items, these could be past operation items. It's very dependent on that specific, but if you can find these, they have a huge opportunity to blow up. And honestly, it's something I highly suggest you look a little further into, although they're not the easiest to find. Now, in my personal opinion, what would I be investing into right now? First up, I'm highly suggesting you check out the rare case market. I think it's honestly and consistently one of the best areas for the majority of people, and it doesn't require that much time or effort to get into. If you want to put a little bit more effort in, the filler skins market is definitely where I would pique my interest. There's a lot of opportunity there, but it's definitely not going to be as simple as the rare case market, as you got to look a little deeper and figure out everything that's going on there. But that's all I got with this. You much for watching. Hope you have a good rest of your day.